From a small Dutch trading post to the concrete jungle where dreams are made, New York City's skyline is more than just a collection of buildings. It's a living, breathing timeline of ambition, innovation, and resilience. Today, we're going on a deep dive, a journey through 4 centuries, to uncover the detailed story of how this iconic silhouette was built, lost, and reimagined. So grab your virtual hard hat because we're starting from the very beginning. Let's rewind the clock to the 17th century. Long before the skyscrapers, there was New Amsterdam. Picture a humble settlement at the southern tip of Manhattan, characterized by simple, gabled wooden houses with steeply pitched roofs, echoing the architecture of the Netherlands. Life was centered around the fort, and the tallest structures were windmills and the steeple of a modest church. When the British took over in 1664 and renamed it New York, the architectural style began to shift. Brick started to replace wood, offering better fire resistance. Georgian architecture, with its symmetry and classical proportions, became the fashion. Think of the original Federal Hall on Wall Street, where George Washington was inaugurated. It was a handsome, dignified brick building, but by today's standards, it was just a few stories high. For nearly 200 years, the city grew outwards, not upwards. The skyline was dominated by church spires, a testament to the fact that for a long time, the highest points in the city were dedicated to faith. But the dawn of a new era was approaching, an era that would fundamentally redefine the concept of a city. The late 19th century was a crucible of change. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and 2 inventions would forever alter New York's destiny: steel frame construction and Elisha Otis' safety elevator. Before steel, buildings relied on thick, load-bearing masonry walls, which meant the higher you built, the thicker the base had to be, making tall structures impractical. Steel frames, however, created a strong but lightweight skeleton that could support the building's weight, transferring the load to the frame itself. This meant walls could be thinner curtain walls, and buildings could soar to previously unimaginable heights. But who would want to climb all those stairs? Enter Elisha Otis. In 1854, at New York's Crystal Palace exhibition, he dramatically demonstrated his safety elevator, cutting the hoisting rope and letting the platform drop, only for his safety brake to kick in. This single invention made tall buildings not just possible, but commercially viable. And so the race to the sky began. The first true skyscrapers started to emerge. In 1899, the Park Row building, standing at 391 feet, became the world's tallest office building. Its ornate Beaux-Arts style was typical of the era, trying to apply classical design principles to this new building form. But then came a building that broke the mold. In 1902, the Fuller Building, better known as the Flatiron Building, rose at the intersection of Fifth Avenue and Broadway. Its revolutionary triangular shape, dictated by the awkward plot of land, was an engineering marvel designed by Daniel Burnham. Critics initially dubbed it Burnham's Folly, convinced the wind would knock it over. But it stood firm, becoming an instant icon. The grand finale of this early era was the Woolworth Building, completed in 1913, financed by five-and-dime store magnate F.W. Woolworth. This neo-Gothic masterpiece was hailed as the Cathedral of Commerce. Its intricate terracotta detailing, soaring lobby, and 792-foot height made it the tallest building in the world, a title it held until 1930. The skyscraper was no longer just a functional office block. It was a symbol of corporate power and American prowess. As the Roaring '20s began, a new, uniquely American style exploded onto the scene: Art Deco. It was a style of glamour, luxury, and technological optimism, perfectly suited for the skyscraper. This era is defined by one of the most famous rivalries in architectural history: the race between the Chrysler Building and the Bank of Manhattan Trust Building at 40 Wall Street. For months, the 2 projects battled for the title of world's tallest. 40 Wall Street topped out first, and its architect, H. Craig Severance, declared victory. But Walter Chrysler and his architect, William Van Allen, had a secret weapon. Hidden inside the Chrysler Building's dome was a 185-foot stainless steel spire. In a breathtaking feat, the spire was hoisted into place in just 90 minutes, securing the Chrysler Building's crown as the world's tallest. Its sunburst crown, eagle gargoyles modeled after Chrysler hood ornaments, and sleek design make it, for many, the most beautiful skyscraper ever built. But its reign was short-lived. Just across town, an even more ambitious project was underway. John J. Raskob of General Motors wanted a building that was undeniably the tallest, and the Empire State Building was his answer. Construction began in 1930, right as the Great Depression took hold. In an incredible display of efficiency and determination, the steel frame rose at a dizzying pace of 4.5 stories per week. The building was completed in a record-breaking 1 year and 45 days. Topping out at 1,250 feet, it dwarfed everything else, becoming a global symbol of hope and human ingenuity during a time of economic despair. Its Art Deco mooring mast, originally intended for docking airships, added to its futuristic allure. For over 40 years, the Empire State Building was the undisputed king of the New York skyline, a beacon for generations. After World War II, the ornate glamour of Art Deco gave way to a new philosophy: modernism and the international style. The mantra, coined by architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, was "less is more." This style celebrated clean lines, glass curtain walls, and unadorned functional forms. The Seagram Building, completed in 1958, is the quintessential example. Designed by Mies van der Rohe himself, its elegant bronze and glass facade set a new standard for corporate headquarters, influencing skyscraper design worldwide for decades. Just a few years earlier, the Lever House, with its innovative glass tower floating above a public plaza, had already broken ground. But the most dramatic change to the skyline in this era came in the early 1970s with the construction of the World Trade Center. The Twin Towers, designed by Minoru Yamasaki, were pure minimalist giants. At 1,368 and 1,362 feet, they briefly reclaimed the title of world's tallest for New York. Their sheer scale and stark vertical lines created a powerful, unforgettable presence on the skyline, a twin-pronged landmark that defined Lower Manhattan for a generation. The late 20th century saw a reaction against the coldness of modernism. Postmodernism arrived, reintroducing ornamentation, historical references, and even a sense of playfulness. Philip Johnson's 1984 AT&T building, now the Sony Building, was a landmark of this movement. Its distinctive Chippendale broken pediment top was a deliberate, almost cheeky, rejection of the flat-roof glass box. But the skyline story took a tragic turn on September 11, 2001. The loss of the Twin Towers left a gaping hole not just in the cityscape, but in the heart of the world. The process of rebuilding was one of profound symbolism and national resolve. The result is One World Trade Center. Completed in 2014, its crystalline form rises to a symbolic height of 1,776 feet. It's a statement of resilience, memory, and defiance, anchoring a completely reborn Lower Manhattan. In the 21st century, the race to the sky has resumed with a new kind of skyscraper, the Superdome. Slender residential towers of Billionaires Row along 57th Street. Buildings like 432 Park Avenue and Central Park Tower push engineering to its limits, creating impossibly thin structures that climb over 1,500 feet, casting long shadows and reshaping the classic view of Midtown. And then there's the city's next frontier, Hudson Yards, the largest private real estate development in U.S. history. It's a city within a city of sleek glass towers, public art like the Vessel, and futuristic architecture, all built over an active rail yard. From Dutch wood to Georgian brick, from steel frames to Art Deco spires, from minimalist boxes to Superdome needles, the New York City skyline is in a constant state of evolution. Each building tells a story of the era that created its technology, its economy, its aesthetics, and its aspirations. It's a vertical history book written in steel and glass, a testament to a city that never stops reaching for the sky. Thanks for joining us on this architectural journey through time. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind our world. Let us know in the comments which New York building is your favorite. See you next time.